Welcome, Hans. This is
Thank you.
a different setup, so I know you can pitch. You've done it 100 times, probably 1,000 times. So we want to do it a little bit different. You're CEO of Carbyon. Can you say a few words about what Carbyon is and what it's doing?
So Carbyon is a company developing technology to filter CO2 out of air. And so it's actually meant to clean up the atmosphere. And we've clearly brought way too much CO2 into the atmosphere, starting with the Industrial Revolution. So our purpose is nothing more or less than to clean up all the excess CO2 and bring it back to pre-industrial concentrations so that we can stop climate change. That's what we're trying to do.
And can you say where you are? Is it already done? Are you already selling? What?
Let's say if you look at the world, there's like 140 different companies. We gather every 2 years in New York, actually, the DAC companies, and so today there's like 142 Carbyons around the world. Nobody so far has really found a way to do it. It's not that we cannot invent technology to filter CO2 from the atmosphere, but the challenge is to do it in a cost-effective way. And doing it in a cost-effective way at the cost that the industry would like to have it, so far nobody managed to do that.
And Carbyon will do this?
Of course.
Don't accept no as an answer.
But our journey started in 2019. It was based on an idea that I had when working for TNO. When we started, and I remember the day, of course, that at HighTechXL and the hackathon and all of that, nice memories, but back then, of course, it was nothing more than an idea. To take something from an idea to, say, a machine, because in the end you need to build a machine, a hardware development takes a lot of time. Plus, it's not just building a machine. The fact that nobody found it so far, not in China, not in the US, not anywhere, means that it's not an obvious thing to do. And somebody once mentioned, it was I think a former engineer from DSM, like, if you really want to make this happen, you will need to look Mother Nature really deep into the eyes. Well, that's exactly, of course, what we need to do day by day. And that's what we're doing for the past 6 years. And I think we're getting closer, and we're getting really close, I can say today, but not yet quite there. But I think we're one of the few worldwide that could make it happen.
Well, interesting that you say, I started with the idea, I worked on something at TNO, and then I started something. Did you know at that moment that you would get so far as you are today, or what kept you moving?
Now, what keeps you moving is, of course, the conviction that it can happen. And of course, you have no idea about the timeline. And I think it's a good thing that you don't really realize the timeline, the amount of trouble and money that you need for it, because otherwise you would never start doing it, I guess. But of course, you have the conviction that it will work. If you no longer have a conviction, you need to stop, right? So it's the conviction that it can work that keeps you going, no matter what. So that conviction was there from day one, and I can say the conviction is still there today. And I'm sometimes called an irrational optimist, but you know, that's no problem. I like to be an irrational optimist.
And how do you get, so you're not doing this alone, of course, so you have a big team around you that has been growing. How do you get that conviction also into their mind, into their way of working, into their daily life?
Yeah, this isn't always easy. I mean, everybody's different, right? And not everybody is as irrational or optimistic as I am. So it takes, and that's a good thing, by the way. I mean, you need to be surrounded also by people who are very critical and challenge you, of course. But it should not, let's say, balance out to the fact that people start disbelieving in what you do. And as the team grows, obviously, there is more opinions. Obviously, we're in the Netherlands here, so everybody has a strong opinion about which way to go, left or right. There's many, let's say, crossroads that you need to choose. Are we going to go left? Are we going to go right? So that means there's different opinions. The more people, the more opinions. And of course, it's not a democracy. So in the end, I'm the tiebreaker in terms of do we go left, do we go right? And that can be very challenging. We've had a couple of really tough moments where people were really convinced, we have to go right. And in the end, I said, we go left. This is difficult, and it's always a gamble, right? I mean, if I would have a crystal ball and I don't, things would be easy. I don't have the crystal ball, but nobody has, of course, so you always need to take your bets. That's how we do it, and that's challenging, and as the team grows, this is getting even more difficult.
Exactly, and how did you deal with it as an individual? Because I can imagine if you work at TNO, you don't encounter too much those kind of questions. You are leading this opportunity, this dream, you're going after the passion, you see the impact, and you have to make these kind of difficult choices. What does it do to you as Hans, not as CEO, as Hans?
Yeah, it can be lonely, of course, at times. Having that responsibility, of course, of making the choice and then also being responsible for that choice. It hasn't affected me personally in the sense like, I always have a good sleep or whatever. But it's, of course, it can be very tough, and I can say that making some of these decisions have been the toughest decisions I had to make. So this is not easy because it comes with a lot of responsibility, not just towards the team, but also towards the investors, right? In the end, we've raised about 25 million euros so far. That's money coming from investors. They put their trust in you. And they trust that you make the right decisions, of course. They know there is risk associated with it, but of course it comes with a responsibility. So there is no, it's all part of what we do. We know what we do. Investors know what they do, of course, and this is not, let's say, a proven technology yet. But of course you feel the responsibility, and this is not always easy.
Great, good. And so how do you use them? People around you in the ecosystem, other players you can talk to, whatever, Hamed, or other examples of people who went through this?
Of course, yeah, I think there is a great deal to learn. When I compare what I know today compared to what I knew 6 years ago, this is a huge difference, of course, and I learned a lot at HighTechXL, but it's indeed also talking with other entrepreneurs and learning, of course, from companies that didn't make it in the end. For example, at Carbyon, there's quite a number of people from Lightyear. Also learning from them how their journey was and also how their journey ended, let's say, is a very learningful experience. And sometimes the journeys that don't make it are the ones that you learn most from it. Learning and listening to let's say other stories and other experiences is key. I think Carbyon has always been quite open in that respect that we felt ourselves like, okay, we're maybe a core team that can bring things together, but we always had to reach out to other people, business-wise, technology-wise, to make it happen. We didn't have all the answers on all the problems. It's a very multidisciplinary challenge, what we do. It involves obviously chemistry, but it involves nanotechnology, it involves machine building technology, mass manufacturing know-how. So there's a lot of disciplines that you need to bring together, and you cannot be specialized or have specialists, let's say, in each of these domains. So it's very much about leveraging what other people know outside of the organization, leveraging what the industry knows, and because, for example, talking about mass production, we wanted to do this with known mass production technologies. We didn't want to reinvent the wheel in terms of mass production, but that limits in terms of the technical choices that you can make. But you need to be aware of, okay, what are the boundary conditions? So you need to reach out to existing mass manufacturing industries, for example, to know that.
Yeah, I can imagine that's a lot of work, and so also continuously changing. And I was wondering, so I know quite a few of your people. Probably all of them can easily get a job in Veldhoven if there is a job market available. But they still are part, and they will become part, and more people coming to Carbyon. So what's the magic that you? Because their salaries in Veldhoven will probably double or triple of what you offer, but still they are coming.
they're coming, I think, yeah, part of the magic, of course, is in the story. I mean, the goal, right? The Man on the Moon goal of capturing CO2 from the atmosphere is obviously something that is appealing to many people. So that helps, without me having to convince them, so to speak, and they have convinced themselves that this is a story that we'd like to be part of. So that definitely helps. I tend to believe, but okay, there's also some outside people telling that it's also a nice culture to work at and to work in. It's a very young team, international team. But okay, that goes for many organizations, I think. I think we're not unique in that respect, but the goal of trying to do something that could be extremely impactful, together with, of course, the tough technical challenges, is really looking Mother Nature very deep into the eyes. I think it's appealing to many people, especially, of course, people with a technical background, that it goes without saying, but also other people, it's not all about engineers and scientists. There's, of course, other people with other backgrounds, especially as you grow and you turn into more commercial organization. I think many people love to be part of it, but of course it's a challenge to keep the dream alive. Because 6 years is a long time to develop technology that is not yet proven today. So keeping the dream alive can be challenging at times. Yeah.
Yeah, so we talked in earlier about a roller coaster, and you just mentioned it. Sometimes tough and being alone and whatever. But if you're on the high end of the roller coaster, you celebrate things. What do you do then for your team or with your team? Yes, because I think that's important to make sure that the celebration is there, because we are too often too critical, so it's almost good but not good enough, and let's wait, but I think you need to celebrate as well.
We're really good at celebrating. And it's not my merit. There's a couple of people in the organization that are really good at celebrating things and organizing things to celebrate, and I'm always amazed with the ideas they come up with. We have actually, we celebrate on a monthly basis actually. So we have what we call a monthly end of the month, and every last Thursday of the month we come together to look back in terms of what we achieved last month, and then we always do a celebration. Small things, big things. So I think this is really key, really important to do that, because as you say, being confronted with all the tough technical challenges and setbacks, let's be honest, we've also had a lot of setbacks and frustrations, and that's how it goes with technology. You need to balance that with such things, so it's really important to keep the energy and to also do these type of celebrations. And it's not that every month, of course, you have a very big thing to celebrate, but there's always things that go well, other things that you learn from. Anyway, we always have a small party every month to keep the energy up and running.
Wow, great lessons, great important lessons for everybody. Hans, I'm personally extremely impressed by what you and the team are doing. So this is huge on the scale of impact. If it works, just make it work.
We'll make it work, no promise. I don't have the crystal ball. But the first machine will be operational from this summer onwards and will be very visible on the HighTech campus here, because we're very thankful to the HighTech campus that they are willing to host our first outdoor field lab. So people knowing the campus at let's say the food truck area at the end of the strip, well, let's say just next to the food truck area, they prepared a little platform, and on that platform, if all goes well, in like 5 to 6 weeks from now, there will be the first carbon direct air capture machine. So I would say, please go and have a look. There will be some information, and we're happy to provide you all the documentation and information on the background of that machine. So happy to share our story and our enthusiasm with all of you.
Wow. Big applause.